Good afternoon, this is Bob from Trade Genius, 22nd of December. And let me apologize in advance if I start coughing. I'm feeling a lot better, but still coughing a lot. Well, today, for the second day in a row, we got an end of the day. Well, I should say, after oil closed, before the last half hour sell-off in ES slash SPY, and then the last half hour ramp. But this time, the XIV fell and came right back. This time it fell and is kind of stuck. I'll get to that in a second. But I think the character of the market's changing, and we're just getting chopped up, stop, and on anything we have long. And so I think people are slowly exiting here. And if you look over the Asian markets, they're just getting absolutely crushed. And so I think it's not going to be long before this market goes into full-on reverse. And then that's going to support the short stocks I talked about yesterday. Just reference the video from yesterday to see what I have short. And then also it's going to support, definitely is going to support the metals and the miners. And our long nightmare should be over, because it's all about the yen jamming the metals and miners, and they're going to have to relent or everything's going to implode. But let me just go through my charts really fast here. Is that UNG, we're long UNG, we're covered. Pushed up into the first of the morning and then sold down. I'm still expecting some gap fill in here before I go long again uncovered. And my basis is down to around 790. So I can hop off anytime I want here for profit. But I'm going to probably roll my sold calls again next week and stay in UNG to the 850s again. XBI we're short with puts, and then I just sold some puts for next Friday to see if we stay fairly benign here. At 58's a gap fill. That's why I have it there. And they're using biotech when they need to keep the market from collapsing, and you saw it in the last couple hours of trading. As soon as the market started getting a little hinky, they started buying biotech. And so I think it's just going to be a stair step down, and then hopefully you can hop off that sold put on next Friday, and then have biotech just keep on collapsing. XIV, we're in a trade. We got 2/3 position, and then it sold off. I bought it back, and our price was 50.08, and got stopped out at 46.50. Bought back at 49.70, and I'm expecting a lift into tomorrow, and then I'll have to wait and see. But believe it or not, we're still in an uptrend on XIV, and we're getting a lot of head fakes now, and so we'll see tomorrow. If it breaks my uptrend, then I'm just gonna put XIV on the shelf until we get through the next 4 to 6 weeks and get it at a lower price. My expectation here, see, this is the wedge here, it collapsed, it went above. If it touches this apex again, it's going to go down to here, even to here, and even down to here. So it can fall pretty hard, so I'm not going to screw around. If it breaks my uptrend line here, I'm just going to get out and wait it out. And I got VXX, I got VX futures, and I have some sold calls against my VXX, which I'll close if and when this flips on me. The ags have just been very frustrating for a lot of people here because it's not getting any momentum. But gave a buy signal again today. I personally bought futures. I didn't recommend it to anybody else. I just want to see some trend change on this. So hopefully I can ride it for a couple points and hop off and let this thing catch a move. SPY, we're kind of in this no man's land here. It's drifting down to the VWAP. The 220 area is the area that I've been telling everybody is start clanging the alarm bells, because it'll be back at the rectangle. So I rolled I'm short SPY puts into January, and they're 223s, but I sold the 223s against it yesterday, and I'll let the 223 hit on it before I either close them off or roll them down. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I think if XIV changes its manners, then I'll probably just close my hedge on SPY and let it roll. FXY, I'm long FXY, and I just think that fever broke last week on the 15th, and just waiting for the market to take this thing back higher, a lot higher. Real estate hit the VWAP, rolling down again, not because real estate's great. It's just that I think people are anticipating that interest rates are not going to go up any higher, and everybody's seeing the writing on the wall, and we got to get through that mess on real estate until people realize it's not just about the interest they got to carry, it's about people's ability to pay the rents, and that's when real estate's really going to rock. VXX, it's overbought right now, and just want to see, even though I got a buy signal on it, this has always been a tough one to trade successfully. Long side, this could be it. January, weak December for volatility, strong January. So only 1 week in the last 10 years had the VIX started its move after Christmas and before New Year's. This could be the year. We'll see. But we've been disappointed before. You get a couple day run and have it roll right back over again. So I'm just keeping my hopes up here. I have sold calls on it for $24.50. Got 36 cents on them. So I have some room to just kind of watch it before I have to pull the trigger and close those options, and then I'll let it run. But I'm pretty sure that if we start rolling down in January, VXX will be in the mid 30s in a heartbeat. MOS, we got taken out on that earnings news. It just didn't get back in it again. It's now overbought, so just gonna wait for it to set back up again. Wasn't gonna chase it. VIX, we talked about. We finally got some positive on the VIX itself. I'm long the VIX futures, and I'm looking forward to move much higher. I like to see it get into the 20s, and then be able to hop off. We're definitely due for a pretty good move. VXY, we talked about. Labu, we talked about biotech. Joe, I'm not really sure what the heck's going on with coffee here. There's been such an incredible accumulation on the stock here, and then today they blew it up. And I have Joe, and I have it in a long-term account, and I'm thinking about adding to it, but I'm just gonna kind of wait and see what tomorrow brings. But it's definitely frustrating because the supply demand is out of balance, and coffee prices are going to go way higher. So I'm dealing with somebody with a bigger stack than me that keeps wanting to get it cheaper, and I think I have to live with it. Talked about natural gas. I'm holding Silver Majestic, First Majestic, Silver. Excuse me. I don't want to get stopped out of this one because I think it's really going to go when it goes. And so I put the stop way down on purpose, and I think First Majestic, we're still positive on the trade, believe it or not, after all this craziness. We bought it at 687. So, but I'm definitely looking for a big move in the miners when the stock market rolls over. Drip, I'm not in Drip, but I follow it, and I'm also short XLE puts. Oops, sorry about that. And oops, going the wrong way. And I think patience is going to pay off here. Oil, I don't know, they did some sort of crazy ramp today. low volume week, but there's no way oil is gonna hold up. It's been running with the dollar, and just absolutely manipulation. But I think the weight of the inventory is just gonna just bring this thing down. And so those that are in drip, just hold it. If it drifts down to the lower end here of the range of the last week or two, buy a little bit more. If it drifts up, sell a little bit more. Keep bringing your basis down. But I think you're going to be well rewarded with drip. IWM, I'm short. I have a long TWM as a signal, which is profitable, and I'm holding puts on it. I'm thinking small caps and biotech are going to get absolutely barbecued. Emerging market, I traded a little bit, just watching it, and you see now there's a lot of stress. Look at this in the 15th on. There's a lot of stress in this market, and this is telling us that whatever Japan and our federal government are doing are not helping the rest of the world, and something's going to blow up here. Either we blink, the Japanese blink, or the world goes crazy and China does something crazy. So emerging markets are under a lot of stress right now. Just not trading energy right now long. DBA, it's coming into another buy. It's just been in this range, literally in this range all year. So with grain prices at the absolute bottom, this is probably a pretty safe place to buy, because I don't think prices can go any lower without taking farmers out of production. So if you want something that you want long term, stick away that in case we get runaway inflation when we get some of these food harvest collapses, then this will be your ticket. Silver, just waiting to pull the trigger on it, just keeps drifting. Silver's kind of in this weird place of being a precious metal and being an industrial metal. So it looks like it's in the slight industrial and slight precious metal mode right now, and it's getting pushed down on both sides, but it's holding, on its above its recent low. So we'll see. I have Silver Wheaton and I have First Majestic, so I'm not anxious to jump into silver itself, because I think the miners are going to move much faster than the metals will. Nugget, just hanging tough. JJG, I'm waiting for another buy signal on this so I can add to my position. Same thing as DBA. It's just been in this $2 range, so I might as well try to make $2 on it each time and hop off and bring my basis down. And so I'm just waiting on it. And definitely if the dollar rolls over, this is going to get a move. We've been dealing with that, as well as the excess inventory for the grains. SLJ, I put a quick trade out there to see if this thing was going to move. Really tight stop. Jump back out. I mean, very, very, almost like a half 20 cents or 30 cents on it. And just not ready yet for it. I'll give it a shot again once I see the dollar roll over. But this thing will move really nicely. It's moved 5 or 6 points up from here before, and I'm expecting for it to do it again. SLW, we're still in it, and so pretty close to our buy price. I'm just waiting for the dollar to do its thing. IYR, just been out of the real estate until I figure out which trend's going to dominate, the interest rate trend or the we can't get enough money into the shop trend. Gold flat as a pancake. Corn, looks like a little buy signal showing up here. The traders are the most bearish ever on corn right now, and I'm likely tomorrow to go in and buy a corn futures contract for a trade, and again try to ride this channel that we've been in. But looks like a pretty safe place to enter a position. A GDX just holding flat. Oh, we're in GDXJ, And so just holding above the stop area and seeing if we can get a move on it. Sugar, it just looks like the miners. I guess all these things that are waiting for the dollar. And the dollar looked like it wanted to roll over today, but they tried to buy it back. And it looks like they got it to positive at the end here. The last 2 hours positive, I mean. So J-Dust just flat the other way. And short S&P 500. I think for those who don't want to try any leverage and looking for a hedge, I would probably start next week buying some of the SH to hedge your portfolio. XLE, I'm waiting for this thing to fall out of bed. I got a sell signal on it. I already have puts, so I own the 76 puts, and then I have sold 74 puts for week 1 January. And so I'm looking forward to break down to and through the VWAP, and then I'll make a decision on what I want to do next. SRS, again, in real estate. Talked about SPY. Talked about producers. And oil, that was just over a little bit here to get a better look. So looks like oil started giving up the beast here, and like I said, I don't think they can hold oil, and maybe that's what caused the market to have some problems after close. Let me take a look. Yeah, oil does not look happy, I'm telling you, and that's going to make a big difference with SPY. This is not a good move here. This is kind of flattish triangle, but look at the momentum just leaking out of it. Like I said, I'm looking for 525 on oil, because we're just going to be patient. Maybe they'll try and I'll get to the end of the year here. And dust. Dust went from 70 to 64 in 2 days. 10% move. Anybody that's holding dust right now, it probably would tell them they probably should just be thankful and get out. CRK, I just not long energy, and I think this is going to roll over pretty hard. Like I said, we're in TWM, and I'm looking for good things to happen with this. This is leveraged, and I want to give it some room to let it run here, because I think small caps rose the most. They're going to fall the most. Back to UNG. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. Market's a bit frustrating because trading on a shorter term time frame, the market's just not moving, and it's whipping up and whipping down. So I've been keeping my stops fairly tight, and I want to learn a lesson that I learned in 2008. This started happening then too, and I didn't do that, and it really caused me a lot of anxiety. So as we get into a little bit better picture here with volatility, I'm just going to do a lot less trading and make some bigger bets and give them some room, because they're going to whip the market up and whip the market down, and then try to day trade with XIB hedges during the day to kind of smooth things out. Because that's what you're going to see. This market will not just drop straight down. It might, we had that last 3 years. It may just do that again because of the robots. But, there's a lot of very, very, very wealthy, connected people that are still long the market. They may not want that to happen if they think this is going to be the baby. And so they'll whip it up and down for them to be able to get out at best prices. And so we have to be prepared for that. It's going to be really, really a crazy next 90 days. Anyway, Bob for Trade Genius. I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.